Yes, it is the Grim Gazette. You thought we were done, but no. The Grim Gazette never goes away. And I am your host, T. Morris. I am one of the two founders behind Old Spirits Investigations, and it is here at the Grim Gazette that we go into the weird, the unexplained, the unusual, if you will. Weird news, paranormal debunks, that sort of thing. But tonight is a special night because I didn't think I was going to be doing this again. I did not think that I had another reaction video. And I do, because this came to my attention.
What's up, guys? It's Sam and Colby.
In this video, we're going to be visiting the 3 most haunted Airbnbs in America.
All right. Here's where I'm going to stop it straight off the bat. Why am I doing this video? 1, I'm not going to be doing the entirety of this video. 2, this video was brought to my attention because 3, they went to Linville Manor. Now, as many of you know, Linville Manor is a place that is near and dear. This is Linville Manor. What we're looking at right here, this is Linville Manor. We, as in OSI, we have a very, very close and personal history with this property. I would say that out of all the properties that we have visited in our 4 years, yes, our whopping 4 years, coming up on our 5th year as paranormal investigators, of all of those places, Linville Manor we have visited more than any other place. Why? Well, because there are many reasons why we are always visiting Linville Manor. 1, there is its owner. Win Brewer, super nice guy, great guy, fantastic host. We love him. Secondly, every time we have gone to Linville Manor, something different has happened. Every time. We're now reaching a point where we actually are doing callbacks to earlier investigations from Linville Manor in our most recent investigations of Linville Manor. Again, another testament to how much we love Linville Manor. I celebrated my 55th birthday in the Teak-Easy, which is prominently featured in this segment, from what I've been told. I do. I take Linville Manor very seriously. No, they are not paying me to do this. No, I don't have to protect Linville. No, it's not like that. But that's how much I love Linville Manor. It's a great property. The last time we were there, we were playing Dungeons and Dragons to see if we could kick up more paranormal activity by playing the role-playing game in there. Go on ahead and check out that investigation, both the investigation and the actual game that was happening while the investigation was continuing on. It was so much fun, and we're already planning to do it again. But all that being said,
That chair's moved.
Was that like that?
No.
okay.
My heart is pounding.
I don't know if I've ever experienced anything like this.
Okay, so first off, we're not going to be watching this video in its entirety, okay? I am not familiar with the other 2 properties. The fact that Linville Manor is in there, though, I'm not going to lie. This is great for Linville Manor. This is great for Win. And mad props to both Win and Sam and Colby for arranging this and making it all happen. Because it couldn't happen to a nicer guy, and it couldn't happen to a nicer place. Okay? I freaking love Linville Manor. And the fact that Sam and Colby are calling it one of the top 3 most haunted Airbnbs. And let me tell you something. I've stayed in some other Airbnbs that I could tell them, yeah, you might want to be checking these places out too. But the fact that Linville Manor is up there, I think is great. I think it is absolutely fantastic. So what we're going to do for this reaction video, because I have not sat and watched this uninterrupted, we're going to sit back and we're going to watch just the segment for Linville Manor. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my thoughts on their investigation. Now, I have not made my opinions about Sam and Colby's secret on this stream or on my YouTube channel with Old Spirits Investigations. If you want to see that comment up close and personal, let's take a look at this clip from TwitchCon 2024. I was doing a paranormal panel, and There was Datune from Paranormal Detour and myself. We were there, and we were talking about the challenges and the rewards of streaming paranormal content. And here's what I had to say. So let me explain what I think are and I would love to hear Datune's thoughts on this as well. There's a spectrum of the paranormal. On this end, and I'm gonna say Paranormal Detour is on this end. Old Spirits is on this end. Amy's Crypt is on this end. Paranormal Quest on this end. And let's just say it, St. Hawes, Jason Hawes, he's on this end.
Love Jason.
Then we got Sam and Colby. And then we got Twin Paranormal. And then we got Mindseed. And then we got...
Them's fighting words there.
And then there is... the douchebag that shall not be named. And you know who I'm talking about.
Douche Baggins.
Zach Baggins.
Douche Baggins that shall not be named.
I'm Zach Baggins.
Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah, and then there are the people that are not necessarily in that extreme, but they're getting the hits because I used my cyber truck to use for ghost hunting. We had that happen today. We had that happen this weekend. I got into a Tesla. They said, "What do you stream?" I said, "I stream paranormal investigations." He goes, "Yeah. What do you think of people using Teslas for paranormal investigations?" I'm like,
I've not heard of that.
"Oh yeah,
No.
yeah,
They have like obviously because they are a computer basically.
yeah."
People have been going through cemeteries and stuff, and since Teslas can show you like what exactly kind of car shape is next to you and how close, it's been showing humans.
Oh.
But
yeah,
it's
so that's
but
what
it's
they're
the
using.
headstones.
Yeah, I was like,
headstones.
it's headstones are
And
shoulder-like.
and then I think it was Khalif, I believe it was. Khalif was showing, look, there's nothing out there, and it's like except for the tree, and and of course they were saying there was a ghost standing where the tree was. That's what we're competing against. And I'm not here to make you a true believer, but I'm here to tell you some weird stuff has happened to me in these past 3 years, and I want to take you on that journey. But unfortunately, it's the paranormal entertainers versus the paranormal investigators, and I feel like that is our biggest challenge.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is like there is a world where both can exist, and the way I go about doing paranormal stuff, like, again, I'm not a full believer yet or anything, but I still treat it as I'm guests in someone else's home, because, like, even if you don't believe in paranormal, these are real people with families, especially in small towns. Like, the families are still living there. So, like, when I go to a place and I'm hearing, and I don't care, Zach lied and embellished a ton about where this person died and how they died, and they were living in this place, and the grounds owners are like, no, like, none of that's true. The family's still here. Like, he's not allowed back because he's doing this stuff. And it's like, that's where the line is. Like, you can have your entertainment value, you can jump and scream and do everything, but, like, the second you start disrespecting real people in real situations, that's no for me.
Exactly, and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
it's really
it
heartbreaking.
sucks.
I'm going to talk more about stuff that they got right, and I'm going to talk about stuff that I wish they had spent a little more time on. There's a lot happening at Linville Manor, and I don't know if Sam, Colby, and their special guest got that idea, because the impression I got from the segue from Linville Manor to the third act of this video, I felt like it was moving very fast. So I don't know how much real time they got to get to know Linville. But I do want to share some thoughts. I want to share some thoughts about this. And at no point am I going to be overly critical about what they do on their channel or what they define as paranormal investigation. I may be debunking a couple of things because they're not giving the whole story of Linville Manor. And I realize, again, this is like a lightning round. They're jumping in, they're getting one night at Linville, and then they're moving on. And speaking as the paranormal investigator who's been there 10 times, I can say one night in Linville is not enough. There's so much happening in Linville, it is absolutely mind-blowing. This is a very big stage for Linville. This is not the first time, though, that Linville has gotten a massive stage to show what's happening there, because they were prominently featured on Kindred Spirits with Amy Bruni and Adam Berry. But this is Sam and Colby, and this is YouTube, and this is a place very near and dear to our hearts. So let's go on ahead, let's jump in, and let's see how Sam and Colby handle Linville Manor. Here we go.
All right, guys, we are here at our second Airbnb, and tonight we are joined by Sofie Dossi. Sofie here has gotten a gold buzzer on America's Got Talent, known contortionist, and what's crazy, recently she made me face my biggest fear and jump off a 40-foot tall building.
Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, so this girl, Sofie, obviously she is a woman of various talents, and I guess she is also a stunt woman, so kind of cool. Yeah, and yeah.
Are you okay?
It's true.
I don't know, you're gonna have to watch the video. So we decided, hey, why not have
So, good
Sofie
on you,
face
Sam.
one of her
That's very
biggest
cool.
fears,
Which
which
is ghosts.
Hey, payback.
payback.
Back for doing that to Sam.
Sam had a great time though.
Did you?
Yeah, she's putting words in my mouth, but we're gonna figure this out.
Wait, it's 1 minute away.
1 minute away!
Left.
Now I'm a little nervous actually.
That string of lights will take you up to the
I
mansion.
see it. It's right
Is
there.
it creepy like that?
What do you mean we're going to a haunted mansion?
Oh yeah, true.
Linville Manor is a grand estate that contains 4 bedrooms, a parlor, a speakeasy, and a ballroom. This home was owned by Calvin and Gladys.
All right, here's the first thing that I have to come out and say. I don't know who's doing your research, Sam and Colby. This is not Calvin and Gladys Johnson. This right here is Calvin and Gladys Johnson. Note the fashion. They were around in Linville Manor around the time of the 50s and 60s, maybe even early 70s. But this is Calvin and Gladys, okay? These people are probably extras on the Gilded Age, but they are not Calvin and Gladys Johnson, okay? That is roughly... I think we are about 5 minutes into the segment from Linville Manor, but...
Hard no.
No. No. Just flat out no. All right, let's move on.
Johnson, whose marriage suffered greatly when they lived at the manor. Many people believing that this house drives couples apart.
10 investigations I have done at that, I have never heard that. Maybe one reference. But I will say something about the particulars of this, of the marriage of Calvin and Gladys. It's nebulous at best as to what the real story was. There are several stories, as in Calvin and Gladys had a pretty solid marriage. Then Gladys, she got the big C, and she passed away in the house. That is something you're going to want to remember. We're going to come back to that. So Gladys got the big C. She passed away. Calvin remarried, and I heard very mixed things from several different sources about the second Mrs. Calvin Johnson. And I heard that she was not the nicest person to deal with. She had a very specific way of things, and we'll just leave it at that. But Calvin and Gladys, together, they rebuilt. They rescued Linville Manor. And I think they might have gotten this from Wynn, because Wynn is under the impression that, and Wynn is getting this from Old Man Ben, who is one of the living historical resources for Linville Manor. Old Man Ben claims that Calvin and Gladys had a very incendiary marriage. But according to a biography that their kids wrote after they both passed, they got along like a house on fire. They got along great. They were a loving couple. So that is one of the giant question marks I have about Linville Manor, even after 10 visits. But this whole thing about driving couples apart, I want to say I heard that once, but That's not the best way to promote Linville Manor, considering that they want to have more weddings there. I'm just postulating that, if you will. Okay.
There it is, right there.
Oh,
What if you see somebody in the window right now?
oh, please don't say that.
It could be the lurker.
Dude, this is massive.
Okay, I want to point this out. This is very accurate. When you pull up to Linville Manor at night, it is really imposing. It is both welcoming and creepy AF. So yeah, this is an accurate depiction of Linville Manor, especially at night. Okay.
This place apparently is scarier than the last Airbnb we went to, with decades of hauntings and more deaths here, so that's great. Like I said in the car, there's a thing called the lurker that lurks around here and watches you everywhere.
So, that is true. They got that right. Now, I have heard that the lurker tends to hang out on the top floor, and the lurker can get a little belligerent. I think that's the best word I can describe it. When Amy and Adam investigated with kindred spirits, they had some throwdowns. I mean, not like the Warrens throwdowns kind of things that you see in the Conjuring films and all that stuff. I'm just talking about yes, spicy. That's a great way to put it, Fee. It's a spicy lurker, and really, it's also from intimidation. And there are a lot of different theories as to who the lurker is. But at one point, I do know that the Kindred Spirits episodes goes deep into how they managed to contain the lurker, if you will. And yeah, what they said about the lurker is true. Let's move on.
You want to go in, man?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Fuck.
Dude.
You want to do it together?
A few moments later.
This is insane. We have this entire place. Library?
That's so cool.
Whoa! Well, I had one of these as a kid.
No freaking way, dude.
No way! This is the first time this has ever come up on the Sam and Colby channel. That's amazing.
Oh, I'm kind of embarrassed about it. Okay, that's a clarinet right there.
Dude, it's an actual clarinet.
So, my dad made me do marching band with a clarinet. And so, like, in high school, I'm just like,
I can see
you know what I'm
that.
saying?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna just come out and say it. Mad props. I mean, you know, he's a band nerd. Now, granted, I was a trombone player, so you know, unlike Colby here, you could hear me when I was on the when I was on the field. But hey, look, we both marched. The fact that he is a marching band geek, something that I didn't realize was a thing, and he has worn the polyester uniforms. He has suffered through the heat. Man, you don't know misery until you have worn a marching band outfit and it is like 90 degrees after the sun sets. It's just not what I would call the best of times, okay? But I appreciate that. Well done, Colby. Well done.
Like, check that out. All the marching kids out there, you know what I'm saying?
There you go. Oh, he did the heel toe. Represent. Well done.
There was allegedly an unnamed convict who was trying to hide from police here.
Basically, a man broke in here, took a woman by knife point, threatened to kill her, but then he was being tracked by the sheriff.
He was killed by police right where you walk in the front doors.
So this room is the ballroom, or in the 1950s, as Calvin and Gladys Johnson called it, the solarium.
Okay. Here is my next point of contention. This is not the guide. This is the freaking owner. This is your host. This is Win Brewer. He should be getting some kind of credit somewhere, but they instead refer to him as the guide.
I suggest you let that one marinate.
I'm just saying, no, this is Win frickin' Brewer, and he is the guy that holds all of the history right now of Linville Manor. This is one of those stories that has a little bit of ambiguity about it because there has been no written record. That doesn't mean it didn't happen, because it wouldn't be the first time that members of law enforcement have quietly closed a book and made it go away and things like that. But there is no documentation of this ever happening. But the story, at least according to Old Man Ben, was passed on to Wynn. This story is in fact true when it comes to Linville Manor lore. Okay, so there you go.
Sunroom.
That's a sick name.
This chair, we'll find it sometimes move all the way out to here. Maybe whoever's in this chair is like looking out towards the cemetery. This is Edgar Patterson McSeany. This gentleman also passed in the house at around 50 years old, but before he passed, he had one wish, and that was that while he was sick and ailing, that they move him to a chair so he can look out back and watch the trains go by.
Okay, that is also true. That is also one of the bits of lore concerning Linville Manor, that this gentleman liked to look out over the over the grounds so he could see the train go by, because there is a train track within a few 100 yards, if you will, and you can see the train go by. The thing about the chair, we're going to get back to that in a second.
Gladys Johnson unfortunately passed in the overlook bedroom and now haunts the parlor and the ballroom. She's the most sighted spirit in the entire house.
I don't know who this lady is, but that is not Gladys. That is not Gladys Johnson, okay? Thank you.
Sighted spirit in the entire house. Some people say they even see her in a white gown, but the best way to get in contact with Gladys is to hold a toast with some champagne.
This was Gladys Johnson's bedroom, as you mentioned. Also, a lot of female presences in here. There's a lot of people they see people pace in the front of the room. This used to be the birthing room of the house. You know, midwives are in here, women giving labor. You're gonna get something in here. People started noting that if they slept in this bed, you sleep on the right side of the bed, it sounded like someone got into the bed with you on the left side here. Even today, it
I was gonna say, it's like a...
Look at that.
addition or whatever. And this is a brand new comforter, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it looks like someone just sat.
So one of the things that I kind of wish, I don't know if Wynn indulged them and also went into why this was called the Overlook as well. I don't know if he gave any of the stories or anything. The Overlook is my favorite room at Linville Manor, because Wynn tells the story about what inspired him to call it the Overlook. Again, it wasn't included in here, and obviously they probably had to edit it out for running time and all that. But if you had gotten a shot of the bathroom, you would have noted that the bathroom looked a lot like room 227's bathroom from The Shining. He then took it to the next level, and he decorated the whole room in a Stephen King theme. If he had opened up the bookcase, every book is done by Stephen King or Richard Bachman. And then if you note at the top, on the top of the bookcase, there's an old school typewriter. And then if you pull out one of the drawers of the bookcase, yes, there is an axe, a fully sharpened axe that is kept there. I love the Overlook. This room right here, yes, this is the room where the lurker has been known to lurk. And yes, I have slept in this room. Phil and I, on our very first visit to Linville, we spent the night in this room. Our wives spent the night in a completely different room. And we'll come back to the lurker room in just a second.
The most haunted bedroom is the conservatory bedroom, with a male presence seen and felt here.
The lurker is a trickster spirit that stands in the doorway of the ballroom, on top of the staircases, and resides in the conservatory bedroom. It is known to watch people from a distance and attach to guests.
Later.
I really wish they'd have been kinder to Wynn. He is the owner and proprietor of Linville Manor. If I'm going to be hypercritical on Sam and Colby, because the thing with Gladys and Calvin, that's on their research team. This right here, our guide, No, that was your owner and host. That was your owner and host. That's on you, Sam and Colby, and do better.
Several bad puns later.
Outside this window right here is a private cemetery. Out there, like literally behind this whole manor, is like a bunch of dead bodies from the Revolutionary War and children.
Oh, that's horrible.
Okay. Now, here's where I need to do a timeout and talk a little bit about what you can actually see from Linville Manor. Can you see the train tracks? Yes. Can you see the cemetery? Okay, I realize they're doing this to pump it up for the tension and pump it up for YouTube, but I feel obligated to just point out this little detail. You cannot see the cemetery from Linville proper because the train tracks. Yes, you can see the train tracks, but you got to push further back, like another 500 yards or so, until you see the cemetery. And this is true. They have gravestones going back as far as the Revolutionary War. They do have not only the grave of possibly Eliza or Lily, but they also have the grave of one of the cats. And that's Shadow. That's Shadow. They call the ghost cat that wanders Linville. But can you see it from can you see it from the window? No, you can't. You can't see it from the window. Whew. Okay, we got more to watch. Here we go.
See, can you see out there? Oh, no.
Dude, you broke the window, dude.
Yeah, Eliza or Lily, please come talk to us tonight.
Please.
I had a nightmare last night. I just want you to know that I was using the bathroom and this shadowy figure ripped open the curtains.
Oh my god, wait, did it look like this?
It was a pink bathroom. It was similar.
A pink bathroom with a curtain?
Yeah.
Dang.
Anyways, let's hope my dream doesn't come true. Sorry, I thought I heard something.
What?
Oh, again?
Oh, the music again.
Wait.
Is there like faint talking?
Yeah. There's like murmuring.
Right there.
What was that? Is someone on the property? It sounded like, oh. Something like that.
That was a girl.
1, that was a great catch. 2, that is also, confirmed. When we were down in the library setting up for one of our sessions, we caught a disembodied voice.
I don't know what's on a switch in here and what's not.
Is there a switch right there?
I thought the whole room's on a
There's a switch right there.
Yeah, but that switch does not seem to do anything. Exactly. It just shuts off the armor.
Oh, no,
It shuts off the armor. Alright, let me see if there's a switch over here. These switches here.
That was not us.
Again. Alright.
I think I heard Sabrina say mom.
Huh?
What? I thought you were in another room.
No, she didn't say anything.
Did you not?
I heard that.
I thought
that was Serena. I heard mom.
Me too.
I heard it too.
It wasn't.
That was not a real
Not
person.
me. She's right behind you, T.
Exactly. It just shuts off the armor.
Oh, no,
It shuts off the armor. Alright, let me see if there's a switch over here. These switches here.
That was not us.
Again. Alright.
I think I heard Sabrina say mom.
Huh?
What? I thought you were in another room.
No, she didn't say anything.
Did you not?
So the impression we all got from that disembodied voice clip, we were convinced it had come from the ballroom or from the parlor. So where they're standing over the entranceway. They're real close to the parlor. They could have legitimately picked up something there. They could have legitimately heard something. So again, Sam and Colby, props. You're onto something here.
It's over there.
Wait, what the heck?
It must be upstairs. What the fuck is happening?
That's so trippy.
What?
Why can't we keep hearing it upstairs? It's coming from over there.
Or is it in here?
There's music.
Is it in
really
here?
loud?
So something I think that is worth mentioning here, where they were hearing the sound, that was again very close to where we picked up our disembodied voice. Now that was something I heard, okay, and then they were going to investigate that, but then they heard music. Now around the house they do have Google Nest set up, and I do know that when we'll have music playing when he comes in, when you come into Linville Manor. So either A, Wynn forgot to turn off the Google Nests. B, they might have turned them on. Or C, it was a bit of all of the above. And Wynn forgot to mention it. They forgot to mention to Wynn, hey, could you make sure that the Google Nests are turned off? So that's problematic, I think. However, I'm going to say again, where they were hearing the voices come from, the murmuring, that came from when we were in this room and we picked up the disembodied voice. So, yeah, there's a lot of activity happening here. A lot of activity.
Here?
I'm so confused.
Eventually.
Frame is where the lurker is supposed to watch people sleep.
Somebody has to sleep in here tonight, though.
Maybe we should do a competition.
What sort of competition, man?
Loser has to sleep there.
Sofie, would you sleep in here?
I don't know. I don't like the fact that there's like a male just watching me.
You don't like to sleep next to the male gaze?
No, I do.
Oh,
the male
like,
what? Gaze?
The male gaze.
Oh.
Not a gaze, like the gaze.
Oh,
no, I do, but like I don't like it being a surprise.
So this is partially true. You're what they're finding, what they're talking about with the lurker is partially true. The legend we know about the lurker, and this was passed on by Wynn, this was passed on by kindred spirits, was that whatever the lurker was, it does watch you, but not from the doorway. It stands at the foot of the bed. We had been, this was our first trip to Linville Manor, and we had been going from the time we got there till probably 3 a.m. And we were there with our kids. You know, it was me, Phil, the wives, and all our kids. And they were all in the they were all in what is known as the safe room or the protected room. There's a lot of amethyst in there. A lot of cleansing goes on in that room, and Wynn is very diligent about that. That was basically, and it's also known as the amethyst room, and that was where the kids spent the night. Phil and I, well, Phil being Phil said, well, T, you and I are sleeping in the lurkers room because Pip and Tina were not having any of it. So we went on ahead and we spent the night in the lurkers room. I literally passed out in the bed. I remember my head hit the pillow so hard that the pillow hit back. That was how intense I slept. Phil, on the other hand, he said in the middle of the night, which was actually early in the morning at that point, he actually heard movement. He heard movement at the foot of the bed. And in straight up Rossi fashion, because he had only gotten like an hour's worth of sleep before something woke him up at the foot of the bed. Phil went, you got to do what you got to do, but I need to get some rest. So if you could just keep it down, I'll let you do you. And he went right to sleep. And he told me this story in the morning, and I just felt a chill go across my back. But that's why we love Phil Rossi so much here. And yeah, that is what is known as a personal experience. It's not caught on camera. It can't be caught on camera. It can't be caught, in audio or anything like that. It's just a personal experience. But yeah, so they partially got that right as well. But the lurker doesn't just kind of hang out in the hallway. He goes all in, and he apparently stands at the foot of the bed and just watches you sleep. And, once upon a time, people thought that was hot when it was Edward and some vampires, but if it's a ghost, oh, that's no bueno. So anyway, back to the video.
Like I wouldn't want to wake up and somebody's just like watching over you.
We're here in the foyer. This is allegedly where a murder happened. Basically, a man broke in here and took a woman by knife point, threatened to kill her, but then he was being tracked by the sheriff, and he was killed right inside. If you'd like to make yourself known, we have a cat ball at the top of the staircase right here, or a flashlight. You can literally come up to any 3 of these devices, hit them, and we'll know that you're here. In the ballroom, we also have a piece of equipment, a second camera, that you can show yourself there as well. Please, if you would, let it be known.
Oh my god, dude!
Oh my god.
Fuck!
Oh, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Oh my god! And the flashlight is turned on. Oh.
Okay. If you're doing the flashlight method, okay. I mean, we have had it. We have done the flashlight method once on Old Spirits, and it was in, if I remember correctly, it was season 3, when we were in Charleston. That is the only time, to my knowledge, that we have done the flashlight technique. I am not a fan of it. If this is their jam, I'm not here for it. I'm just not here for it. I put up the flashlight right up against the DR60. Not a fan of that one either. All this being said, I know the cat ball is sometimes lumped in there, but we've had some stuff happen with the cat balls that we can't quite explain. So I'm gonna I got no issues with the cat ball or the tripwire or the music box, because we also have we have one of those music boxes as well. Flashlights, if you're working on a budget, I understand why you would have the flashlights. When you're Sam and Colby, you can do better. And I'm just going to leave it at that. There are better ways of tracking motion and interactivity than the flashlight technique. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So let's get back to it.
Oh my god! As we're over there.
Right on the hour, dude. What are the chances of that?
Thank you so much. Maybe it's time to talk? Thank you.
Yes, so.
That scared the fuck.
I know.
It's like, oh my god.
Oh!
Thank you.
Wow.
If this is the male entity that a lot of people say are a trickster, if that's you, just keep an eye on us. Can you come up to this flashlight and let us know you're here?
Sorry, that was totally me.
And good debunk. Good debunk. Far too many times we thought we heard a demon. Turns out it was one of our stomachs.
A few moments later.
Okay, let's see. Shit. Oh my god, look how creepy this is.
Oh my god.
Just look at that.
If you want to go first?
I would love to go first. I'm just actually really tall. This is a really tall ceiling. All right.
Oh my god.
That's scared.
I'm closing the door.
Something was knocking.
All right. What the fuck is this spot? This is super weird.
This is where the lurker is supposed to be too.
Is this like a speakeasy?
It's turned into one. Yeah, it's like a tiki bar. Wait,
What was that?
music.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's the Google Nest again. That's the Google Nest happening. So I'm not sure why the Google Nest is going off. Could be a short, could be, again, they haven't noticed it, and because sometimes you'll just be going through and not noticing that there's music playing softly somewhere, and then suddenly you'll get real quiet and it'll pop up. So yeah.
Why does that sound so loud? Am I going crazy?
That light just went on.
What, this one?
This one.
What? Wait, this was not on just 2 seconds ago?
Wait, maybe it was. Maybe
that
I'm
on?
I don't know.
This is on, dude.
That's on? Okay,
No
so
way.
we know that the spirits here like the music.
Uh-huh.
Oh!
Wait.
Okay.
Right around here?
Right around the metal pole. Oh, what is this? Think that represents somebody here?
Maybe.
Is it by the plants or by...
Oh, it's more by the plant.
Okay. Hey, where's the strongest signal?
Oh.
Nope. It ended. So it's literally right there.
Let's see if we can get into contact. Here we go. I'm turning this on.
You can use this device and pick a word. So if you'd like to speak, come on up to this red light and let us know.
South.
Come.
Come south.
South is over there. Oh my god.
Oh!
And then it spikes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it spiked really hard right there.
Is this where you want us to go?
Down in this area, there is something that I can't remember if Wynn said it was the lurker or if it was something independent of the lurker. But there is a heaviness downstairs. I mean, it's great to have a party in, as some people in my chat can attest. When I turned 55 down here, we had a great time. We had good music, we had good food, we had some fun entertainment. It was a blast. But when you're down there by yourself, there is something pretty heavy down there.
Flowers.
Oh my god!
Well, that is neat.
Oh my god, straight up!
That's what was going on before. That's actually fucking crazy,
Comes
dude.
out right there, flowers.
I have chills.
Wait, that's insane.
What's that say?
They're his flowers.
Who are we talking to?
Wait, what?
Gladys and talking about her husband or something?
Wait!
His flowers?
His
It's okay, I fixed it for you.
flowers.
Who is that?
So then this is Gladys.
Maybe.
Right?
Representing something like that.
No, it's not. It's just it's a speakeasy / teakeasy. That's just a decoration. Don't read into something that's not there. Just saying.
Correct?
Wait, that's insane, guys.
What?
She led us over to the flowers and then said they're his flowers.
Oh, love it.
Love IT.
Oh my god.
I love his flowers.
Wait, that is beautiful.
Aww.
What the fuck?
Could you give us a hint of who we're talking to?
Yeah, if it's Gladys, could you confirm that? Or if it's somebody else, could you tell us a name or something that could help us out?
If. State.
State.
If state. What's that mean?
Oh, it's saying if you state it.
Intent.
Oh, if you state your intent, I'll tell you.
My god.
Take.
Oh my god.
Raid.
Wait,
Take and raid.
it thinks our intent is to take and raid? No.
Okay. I'm not criticizing Sam and Colby for this because I know Phil has done it before. I've done it before. And this is where I'm a little disappointed that they were not finding out more about Gladys and Calvin. Because this is where we actually share something in common with Sam and Colby and Linville Manor. And this happens a lot with random word generators, and this is what you have to be very careful about. With random word generators, that is what they do. By design, they randomly send out words, which is why I found flowers so compelling. That was very cool. But what they didn't connect was the word state. And this is something that we have gotten on different random word generators. We've gotten the word state as well. We've also gotten representative. Why that matters so much to Linville Manor is because Calvin was in fact a state representative in the House of Representatives, and often in here we've gotten state and we've gotten representative.
Representation. As right, or this.
As in, like, representation as in the U.S. government?
No, it said state.
State.
It said state.
State representation. You mean there's a U.S. senator here?
We are now set up. We've got a lot of things running in your ballroom. We've got a FLIR going. We've got at least 2 IR cameras going. We've got cat balls. We've got Eddie out. We're rocking and rolling. And
Representation. Well, there was a representative that lived here.
That's right. Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson, are you here with us, or is it you, Gladys? Because I know Calvin was your husband. I know things kind of went south a little bit for you in your relationship, and I'm sorry that must have been very.
so yeah, I know it's more compelling and it's way more fun to sort of build a narrative around all these random words you're getting, but they're going way out of their way to fill in the blanks here. And while I find a lot of the words here random, the fact that state popped up, that tells me that something Calvin related is kind of making its presence known around there. So you can find state and representative happen often when you're running different ITC devices, such as the Alice box or Ghost Tube or the Paratech or even the Ovilus. And I was, again, it's something I wish they had known a little more about of the history of Linville, so they could have made that connection. Because I felt like the other words felt very random, but when state happened, I remember my breath. I was like, oh, okay, very cool.
No.
We're not going to do that.
No, we come with respect. We truly want to just hear your story and honestly become your friend. We just want to ask, like, who are you? Can you give us that hint?
2,000 years later.
Right now it is 1:06 a.m. It is said that in 5 minutes, 1:11 is the most active time for spirits. So we decided, let's split up. You down?
God, guys.
At least you guys don't get to go alone. Like, what?
Oh, yeah.
Are we staying there?
We are going to go into this room, which is the overlook, which is the second most haunted bedroom. And we said Colby can get the conservatory because he lost the game earlier. So he's going to investigate alone in night vision during the most haunted part of the night. But
so Marvin Chat is saying that he did say that Wynn did say that. Okay, I might have forgotten that. Because quite honestly, whenever we go to investigate, I don't know if it's because Gladys likes us. I don't know what's going on there, but it just feels like that every minute something weird is happening at Linville. At least for me. So, you know. So anyway, so these two are staying in the Overlook, my favorite room, and Colby is going to be in the Lurker room.
we decided in order to trigger the spirits, we are going to do a little toast. It is said that Gladys, the most common spirit, responds well to a toast of champagne. So here we go.
We just pulled that from nowhere. That was crazy.
We always got champagne on deck. Oh, it's a crack. A toast to those of Linville, past, present, and future. May we all reside here with community, love, and good spirit. Cheers.
So why I'm pausing here, you see Sam read it off his phone. The reason why he read it off his phone is because he did not write this. This is the toast that Wynn composed, and it's called his Toast to the Ghost. To me, and maybe I'm just being overprotective. Maybe I'm just, and you know what? I know Wynn Brewer, he's probably watching this, and he's like, T, don't worry about it. It's fine. You know, it's great exposure for the. Yeah, I know. I get that. But here's the thing. Wynn is not the guide. He's the owner. Wynn is not just somebody that knows all the ins and outs and the corners of Linville Manor. He is your host. And on top of that, he is the one that came up with the Toast to the Ghost. And yes, it is in honor of Gladys, and it's in honor of all the spirits that inhabit Linville Manor. And whenever someone does, any kind of event, he always does a Toast to the Ghost. I take Linville very close to heart. I really do. And I just feel like, yes, these guys, they're superstars. But dude, just say that it's Wynn Brewer's Toast to the Ghost,
I was trying to be respectful to Gladys, making sure I wasn't skimping out on her, okay? Yes, please. It's officially 1:11, so we're doing our split up investigation. Spirits of all the Linville Manor, please.
Meet everybody in Gladys's room.
And the lurker, go to the conservatory.
Have fun, lurker.
What? Oh my god! Yo! I have the Flux 2. This is basically a double motion sensor, and I'm going to put this right in the hallway so I know if anything is coming in here. The other piece of equipment I have right here is called the PSD. So let's turn this on and see if we can get some communication. If there's anybody in here that can hear me, Please, you can come up to this device that I'm holding right here. Give me some sort of sign. Let me know that you're here.
So the device that that Colby is using there, that's the one that Project Fear uses. And I'm like, okay. And they just recently did a collaboration together, and I got the impression that that they're pretty tight with the Fear crew. Yeah. These are, so far he's using the Flux 2 was my first ghost gadget, and I swear by it. And it looks like he's using it correctly, because if that was too close to the wall, it would be setting off the motion sensor. Again, I've never heard of the lurker being in the doorway. I've always heard of him being in the room at the foot of your bed. But maybe some people are having different experiences now. Who knows?
If you don't want me to be in here at all, just give me a sign. Tell me a word that will obviously tell me to get out of here, and I'll respect you and do that.
A few moments later.
If you don't want to talk to me, then just give me an obvious sign right now, and I'll leave your space. I don't want to disrespect you. That's not my intention here.
Ben.
What? Ben. It's crazy that it's already been like 5 or 10 minutes, and the only thing it says is like, I've been trying to tell you. I don't want to talk.
Is this your bedroom?
That's a heck of a reach. From Ben to all of that, I was like, okay. I know. I promised I wasn't going to get into the minutia of their investigation, but it's a bad habit. It's a bad habit that investigators will try to shoehorn in responses from different ITC devices to see if it is relevant to their conversation. Honestly, they've had more relevance out of some of the hits from the spirit box.
12 seconds later.
Earlier tonight, Sofie would put this ball right here. It would roll over here and roll back.
Okay, I don't see if everything changed over the course of the year.
Separate.
Oh
Separate.
my god.
Always
separate. Oh my god. I don't know exactly what that means, but it basically knew.
See how I let that just go by? Look at me. I am the perfect gentleman.
That we were separated. One of the biggest things in the research is it breaks people up, this house.
You're right. Couples.
Exactly.
See, again, now this is something that is news to me. And if that were the case, after 10 visits there, I mean, Pip and I should not have bought this house together, but here we are. Here we are, everybody. So I'm not sure where they're going with that, and I don't know if that was something Wynn threw out there, but I mean, he's had weddings out there.
I thought we were like talking to a bunch of different things, but my consensus of this whole thing is that it loved watching us run all around in circles all night, and it doesn't want to tell us anything. It just wants to watch us walk around and trick us.
It just doesn't want to talk to anybody. Which is valid.
Truth.
True.
And that is a possibility. Look, ghosts, in my experience, ghosts do not work on timetables. Ghosts do not work on schedules. There's nobody watching a clock or saying, "Hey, Brad, you gotta punch in here. Come on, get with the program." I mean, I don't mind saying it. When we did the Satanic Panic experiment at Linville Manor, the investigation itself kind of quiet. We did get, I believe, we got state at one point and representation. We got that on the portal. We did get some weird EMF hits. But overall, it was kind of quiet. When we got into the D&D game, that's when things started picking up. And again, you can see the investigation on this channel, and then pop on over to Dungeons and Disableds and see the game on that channel. One, it was hella fun, and two, some of the things that were coming through the random word generator were a little uncanny.
How many of you are here?
Why don't you roll an insight check?
You can try.
Insight check, here we go.
You can certainly try.
Actually, you can use perception or insight, whichever.
I'll use insight because I just rolled it, and 15. And that was cool. That was very, very cool. Is it paranormal? I would like to go back with the Dungeons and Disableds crew and see if it was.
That's awesome.
Fucking crazy.
All right. Wow. Sophie's actually going to sleep over at the haunted Airbnb.
Only because you're sleeping there.
I'm going to be right here. And so if a ghost walks in, I'm going to be the first one that gets possessed and levitates, and you get to watch.
I can't wait.
Perfect. Colby,
Mm-hmm.
you're in the conservatory room.
I'm with the lurker tonight.
You got your YouTube videos ready?
My YouTube videos are ready. I'm charging my phone. I'm gonna sleep with the lurker.
Oh, you're not wearing any pants under there.
Yeah, I'm kind of naked, dude. That's sick.
What the fuck, dude?
I'm kind of naked, man. This is sick. Okay, moving on.
He's not evil, just watches, dude.
All right, well, I'll see you in the morning.
Sounds good.
I mean, I'm not. Hey, look, if that's what you're into, bruh, then that's what you're into. Peace out, baby. But, whoo, man. TMI. And the other thing too is, again, whatever it was that Phil experienced, it was either at the foot of the bed or it was beside the bed.
So much later that the old narrator got tired of waiting and they had to hire a new one.
Adios. I wonder if Colby did. Okay.
That's what I was wondering.
Did you move all those chairs over here?
I did not go anywhere over here. I've been packing up the car all morning.
Look at that.
No, fuck. You guys are fucking lying. You were the last person in here shooting B-roll last night, and it wasn't like this. Like, it's on the B-roll. It's right here.
It's on the B-roll, and this was still faced there.
I have not been in this room this morning.
What the? That's insane! Like, if no one actually moved that, I'm like kind of freaking out. Like, that's insane.
I did it.
I felt pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't feel too scary last night, actually.
Except she woke up and the first thing she says is like, there's definitely an indentation on the bed. I don't know if it's always there, but like...
What? And this is where I wish they had focused their attention on. I have slept in this room before. There has been some weird stuff in this room. And while Gladys did not die in this bed, Gladys did die in that room. And she was fighting the big C. So again, I personally think that the indentions are kind of they're compelling. I have never slept alone in this room. Would I sleep alone in this room? Yes, because I think that's the most comfortable bed in the entire place. I have felt a cold spot on that side of the room. And to be clear, the only air conditioning that's in this room, the vents are on the other side of the room. I find the overlook a far more compelling room than the whole thing with the chair. I wish they had spent a little more time focused on the overlook.
That last chair thing was like one of those insane things. I genuinely don't know how to even like comprehend that.
I mean, that's just something that everybody watching is going to have to tear a word for, but...
And this is a problem with paranormal investigations. If we're sitting here saying, hey, you just got to take our word for it. I mean, that's a lot to ask. They want to see the evidence. They want to see it. They want to see, and they want to see if they can debunk it. Because the real power in paranormal investigation is when you have something fascinating happen and you catch it. Like, for example, if you capture an EVP, perfect example. If you capture an EVP, it's really compelling if you capture it on a single device and you know there's nobody around and there's all this stuff. But if you catch it on multiple devices, which we have done in the past, and you see it also on Amy's crypt, Amy will go from camera to camera to camera, and she will say, yeah, we caught this EVP, we caught this sound, we caught this movement. And it gets harder to debunk, especially when people say, well, you're probably just picking up an artifact on your memory card. But if you're telling me that this artifact appeared at the same time and it was the same artifact on 4 different devices, that gets a little harder to dismiss. And that, again, I think is the difference between paranormal investigation and paranormal entertainment. I personally think Sam and Colby are fantastic paranormal entertainers. But if they did some more investigating, they might be able to debunk some of that stuff. So can paranormal investigations be entertaining? I think so. But with Sam and Colby, the whole thing with the chair and then, you just got to take our word for it. That's not paranormal investigation.
That was a ghost. I'd have a great time here.
I think we're having a good time.
Yeah. I could live in there. 3.75.
3.75?
All right.
All right. 3.75 for the vibes.
And the music.
And the music. Coming to the music.
And the lurker.
They were great to Linville. They were great to Linville Manor, the property. Were they great to Linville Manor as far as the host goes? Well, I don't think it would have killed them to be a little more respectful of our host, of the owner of the property, of the author of The Toast to the Ghost. And that's just me being protective of my friend Wynn. Do I think they had some great moments? Yes. I think they did hear at one point, not the music, but they did actually catch a disembodied voice. And I well done. I think had they done a little more research on some of the stuff that was happening at Linville in the past, with having a better idea of what Calvin and Gladys looked like. The fact that Calvin was a state representative. I think some of those little details, but I get it. They were putting a lot of stuff into one night. They were cramming for an exam. That's the best way I can describe it. And I get it. I found out that Colby is a fellow marching band nerd, and I mad respect for that because I know what it's like to sweat in those polyester uniforms. So good on you, man. All slips aside, I think they did Linville as far as the property goes, and some of its history. I think they did right by it, and I appreciate them being so good to win as to feature Linville Manor, and the fact that it landed square in the middle of the top 3 haunted Airbnbs of the United States. I think that's great. I'm excited for my friend Wynn. I'm excited for Linville Manor. I'm excited for what remains at Linville Manor, and it was great seeing them so prominently featured on this channel. That's fantastic, guys. And I'm hats off. As far as everybody here, thank you very much for enjoying this reaction video. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Until next time, you know what to do. Stay weird.